Hello everyone, this is Teacher Harold, your junior high school math teacher. In this video, I'll discuss the Mathematics 9 lesson, the third week lesson about laws of integral exponents. After watching this video, you are expected to apply the laws of integral exponents that involves positive, zero, and negative exponents. Also, you are expected to simplify expressions with integral exponents. In this module, you would be able to study the laws of integral exponents that include positive, zero, and negative exponents. The topic from this material is necessary to prepare you to study the principles of simplifying radicals expressions or radical expressions leading to the skills of solving related word problems. Now, for our next slide, let us consider the following first. Here we are asked to express the following in exponential form. So basically, the following items that I'm going to show you right now are all written in expanded form. Take for example number 1. So we have a series of numbers of 3 being multiplied for several times. And obviously, this is written in expanded form. Also, in number 2, there are series of numbers of 2 being multiplied for several times. Also written in expanded form. So this is number 2. And for number 3, we have x being multiplied by itself for several times. So expanded form din ito. Okay, each of these 3 items are to expressed in exponential form. So we have to abbreviate this expanded expression from numbers 1 to 3. Okay, so paano? Okay. So we go back to number 1. So this is how you write the exponential form. So obviously, the common factor here, or the number that is being multiplied by itself here is 3. So the answer contains 3. Then let us count how many 3's are being multiplied by itself. So bilangin natin. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, the exponential form here is 3 raised to the 5th power. Since we counted 5 factors of 3 here. Okay? Next, number 2. Now, how do we express item number 2 in exponential form? So obviously, the common number here being multiplied by itself is 2. So the answer here contains 2. Then how many 2's are there being multiplied by itself? So ilang 2 ang minumultiply dito? So bilangin natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So therefore, the exponential form is 2 raised to the 7th power. Since 7 right here, that is superscripted, indicates that there are 7 factors of 2. Okay. Then we go to number 3. So the common symbol here, or the number represented by symbol x. Okay, so the answer contains x. Then how many x's are here? So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Therefore, x is to be raised to the 6th power. Okay? So generally speaking, if we have this last item, say b multiplied by itself for several times, so b times b times b times b, then there are some more series of b's here. We don't know how many of them. Then followed by the last factor of b. So hindi natin alam kung pang ilan to. So this is the expanded form. So how do we express this number 4 expanded form into exponential form? Since we don't know how many b's are there. So ganito yan. Now, the symbol series of 3 dots is known as ellipsis to represent some more factors of b that we are not sure how many of them. So ganito yan. So obviously, yung sagot merong b, no? Then ang exponent or yung superscript number na ilalagay natin, hindi natin alam. So let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And since may kasunod pa dyan, sa ellipsis na yan, we don't know how many b's are there. But we are certain that this is the last one. But still, we don't know pang ilan ito. So let us say the last b here is your nth number. Okay. So b is to be raised to what? Since this is the last number, let's just say this is b to the nth power. Okay, so number 4 is actually the generalization of what we did from numbers 1 to 3. So the number that is being multiplied by itself is known as the base, and n here that indicates the number of times this number is to be taken as a factor is what we call the exponent. Okay. Now, it is very important that we know how to abbreviate an expanded form. Just like in number 1, 2, 3, and 4 into exponential form, such as 3 to the 5th, 2 to the 7th, x to the 6th, and b to the nth power. Since what I'm going to discuss right now relates to this exponential form. And the title of the topic that I'm going to discuss is laws of exponent. Okay, so we go to the next slide. So let us start with the discussion of laws of exponents. Number 1. Now let us consider the following examples with solutions. Now, for letter A, how do we multiply 3 squared by 3 to the 5th? Now, to get the product of the two powers having the same base, all we need to do here is, to get the answer, we just copy the base. So that is the base of the answer. And what would be the exponent? That is simply the sum of 2 and 5. So therefore, your 3 is raised to 2 plus 5. And your answer is 3 to the 7. Next, letter B. How about x to the 4th times x cubed? So basically, the common base here is x. So the answer has a base of x. And what would be the exponent? It is simply the sum of 4 and 3. So x raised to the sum of 4 and 3. So that is x to the 7th. And this is your answer. Next, letter C. How about y times y cubed times y squared? So you will notice that y here has no indicated exponent. Understood that the exponent of this factor is 1. Therefore, to abbreviate this or to get the product, of the three factors with the same base of y. So that is the common base y raised to 1 plus 3 plus 2. And that is y to the sixth. Next. Okay, so this is the answer to letter C. We go to letter D. How about this one? Now, you will notice that each factors has now numerical coefficients. So we have 4n cubed times 3n to the fifth. Now, how do we multiply these powers of the same base with already with containing coefficients from its factors? So this is what you're going to do. So we group together those coefficients. So let us isolate first 4 to be multiplied by 3, and then followed by the remaining factors of n cubed to be multiplied by n to the fifth. So 4 times 3, then followed by n cubed plus 5. Okay? Yan. Of course, we have the common factor n, then raise it to the sum of 3 and 5. Then we simplify this resulting expression. So we know that 4 times 3 is what? 12, and then n raised to 3 plus 5 is n. So the answer is 12n to the 8th. Okay. Next, we go to letter E. How about this one? 6p squared times quantity negative 2p to the fourth. Okay, so what do we do here? Okay. Again, just like what we did in letter D, ibukod muna natin yung may numerical coefficient or yung numerical coefficients. So what are these coefficients? So we have 6 and negative 2. So we must first group them together. So we have 6 times negative 2, and then followed by p squared to be multiplied by p to the fourth. So dito pwede nyo nang gamitin yung operations of multiplying powers of the same base. So we have here p raised to 2 plus 4. And we know that if we're going to simplify this further, 6 times negative 2, since we are multiplying two numbers of different signs, so the product is negative 12. Okay, 6 times 2. Or multiply their absolute value, so that is 12, negative 12. Then, this one right here, if we simplify this, we have p raised to 2 plus 4, we know that is 6. So the answer to letter E is negative 12p 6. Next, we go to letter F. How about this one? Multiplying a monomial by a binomial. Now, the expression inside the parentheses has two terms because they are separated by a minus sign. So what do we do? How do we simplify the expression in letter F? Okay, we do the distributive law. Okay? This monomial factor here to be multiplied by 4q and then multiplied by 5q cubed. Okay, so we have negative 5q squared multiplied by 4q, this one. Then minus negative 5q squared, because it has a negative, so we need to enclose this in a pair of parentheses, multiplied by 5q cubed. Then each term we simplify. First, we isolate negative 5 and 4. We group them first, followed by multiplying q squared by q. Yan. Q squared times q. We know that the exponent of q is 1. So 2 plus 1. Then, negative. Then 5, negative 5 multiplied by 5 first. Then multiply q squared by q cubed. So q raised to 2 plus 3. Then we know that negative 5 times 4 will be what? Negative 20. Then q cubed, that is 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Then negative times negative will give you positive. 5 times 5 is 25. Then q raised to 2 plus 3 is 5. And this is the answer. Negative 20q cubed plus 25q to the 5th. Okay? Now, from these 6 examples, we use a certain law. And you will notice that what we did here is, if we are multiplying powers of the same base, we just simply copy the base to get the answer and then raise it to the sum of the exponents of those common bases or common base. Okay? So, anong tawag natin sa ganitong law? Actually, for any real number a and b and positive integers m and n, we have the following law. Particularly number 1, if we have the generalization of this, say we have the first factor a to the m multiplied by a to the n, we just copy the base, so that is m raised to the sum of m and n. And we call this law as the product law. Okay? Next, we go now to the second law. And let us consider the following examples. For item letter A, under this second law of exponents, now how do you simplify this? 5 to the 6, that is actually being divided by 5 cubed. Okay, so this time we are going to divide powers of the same base. And you will notice that the numerator here has an exponent of 6, while the denominator with the same base has an exponent of 3. Therefore, the exponent of the numerator here is higher than the exponent of the denominator. So, to divide 5 to the 6 by 5 cubed, the answer would be what? The common base 5 raised to 6 minus 3. We know that 6 is taken from the exponent of the numerator, while 3, which is the subtrahend, is taken from the exponent of the denominator. So if we're going to simplify this expression right here on the right side, the answer is 5 cubed. And we know that 5 cubed, when we evaluate this, will give us 125, which is our answer. For letter B, how about this one? X to the 7th divided by x to the 4th. So again, we are to divide powers of the same base, particularly the common base here is x. And just like in letter A, the exponent is higher than, the exponent of the numerator is bigger than the exponent of the denominator. So how do we get the quotient? Of course, the quotient has a base of x, because that is the common to numerator and denominator, and raise it to the difference between 7 and 4, 7 minus 4. And this is x cubed, which is the answer. Next, letter C. How about the negative of y to the 8th to y to the 7th divided by y to the 7th? Okay. So again, we are dividing powers of the same base. Now, since this expression is preceded by negative, so the answer is also preceded by negative. And that is y, the common base is y raised to 8 minus 7. Exponent of the numerator to be subtracted by the exponent of the denominator. So again, the answer is preceded by a negative, so this is y raised to the first. Because exponent 1 can no longer be written. So the answer is simply y, or negative y, not necessarily y to the first. Okay, next. Letter D. How about this one? Again, we are now dividing powers of the same base with numerical coefficients from in the numerator and in the denominator. So in the numerator, we have the coefficient negative 10, while in the denominator, the coefficient is negative 2. So what do we do? Okay, so this is negative 10 m to the 8 divided by negative 2 m to the 5th. So this is equal to, okay, how do we get 5 here? We simply divide negative 10 by negative 2. Since we are dividing numbers with the same sign, the quotient is positive. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then, we divide m to the 8 by m to the 5th. Since the common base is m, so we write m raised to 8 minus 5. So that is 5m raised to 8 minus 5 is 3. And this is the answer. Next. Letter E. We have 24p to the 4th q to the 5th divided by negative 3p cubed q cubed. Okay, just like letter D, the numerator and denominator contain coefficients. One is from the numerator, which is 24, and the other one is from the denominator, which is 3. So, ang gagawin nyo lang dyan, i-divide nyo muna yung 24 sa negative 3. Since they are different they have different signs, so the quotient is negative. Particularly, negative 8, because 24 divided by 3 is 8. Then, divide p to the 4th by p cubed. So that is p raised to 4 minus 3. Then followed by q to the 5th divided by q cubed. That will be q raised to 5 minus 3. And simplifying this further, we have negative 8 p to the first, or p, then q squared. That is 5 minus 3. And this is your answer. Okay? Next, we go to probably the last item, letter F. How about this one? Two-term expression to be divided by a single-term expression. Binomial divided by monomial. So what do we do? Of course, each term from the numerator is to be divided by 6x to the 5th y. So ito mangyayari. This term right here divided by this term from the denominator, which is this one, minus 24x to the 5th y cubed divided by 6x to the 5th y, which is this one. Then, from each term, we have 18 divided by 6 is 3. X to the 6 divided by x to the 5th is x. Y squared divided by y is y. Then minus 24 divided by 6, that is 4. Then x to the 5th divided by itself, so magka-cancel yan. Ang matitira na lang ay y squared divided by y. Y cubed divided by y, so that will be y squared. Okay, this one. And this is the answer. Okay? And based on the following examples from this slide, the law that we applied from each of these items from A to F is what we call, okay, the quotient law under case number 1. So the quotient law states that A to the M divided by A to the N, that will give you A raised to M minus N, provided that the exponent of the numerator is greater than the exponent of the denominator. And A here, the base of the denominator must not be equal to 0. Okay. Now, if you don't have any question regarding the second law of exponent under case number 1, okay, this is where we end the discussion, and we will see you next time.